Hey gang, friendly neighborhood Zippo. We're going to replace fuel lines on this Homelite Bandit. And it's different than the fuel lines that I did before where the gas opening was right here by your hose lines. You've got to fish your line from your holes to the gas opening in order to get a hold of them and get them in place. So how do you do that? Get a piece of really soft, flexible wire that bends real easy. And you'll take it and bend the bitter end, make sure this end here isn't sharp. Bend the bitter end at about 45 degrees and then about the length of the gas tank down. Bend a sweeping 90 degree. We're going to start with the back hole. Make it easier for us to get to the front hole when we do the second line. Take and push that wire through until you can get it to pop out of the gas hole. Just like that. So I've got length of wire over here, and I've got a length of wire over here. Right here. Now you take your fuel line that you have already cut your angle on so that it will come up through the hole. I'm actually going to trim just a little bit more off of that. Make that line a little easier to get up through the hole. Come up to just a sharper point there. And then slide your line over the wire. And slide it over a good distance. I'd say a good 6-8 inches, or roughly the length of the tank. That way you can pinch the line between your fingers as you are pushing the line through and getting the line to line up with the hole. As you pull the wire back through, you're also pulling the line through. That'll pull that your nipped into your line. As soon as I see it, there it is. Okay. So pull that end of your line right up and out the hole. You see it here? I'm going to grab my hemostats and I'll grab it for you and show you. You see? Once you get a hold of your line, just go ahead and pull your wire out, and you can finish pulling up on your fuel line so that you can get the distance that you need here to attach it there. But wait, there's more. We have the fuel filter and the ring. There's a retaining spring that holds the line on. So how do you do that? Well, that's simple. Just go ahead and come to the bitter end. Where'd you go, spring? I just had you. The spring took off on me. There it is. Okay, slide your spring on with the cone, small diameter, towards the back. Slide your fuel filter in. Like so. And then slide that ring over to lock it down. Just that easy. Then you grab your line over here and yank it through, and you want this filter to lay right about at the bottom of the tank right here, but you want to make sure that it lays flat so that it'll pick up all the fuel and it can run back and forth in the bottom of the tank. So just keep pulling your line and then keep your eyeball inside and watch until you have that filter right where you want it. Okay, right now I have that filter right here. So that's good enough for me. And then don't pull this taut to put it on here. Leave just a little bit of a loop so that there's no tension on that line. Mark where you're going to cut it. Get her cut. And slide her on. That is line number 1. And this is on a carburetor that I've already replaced the primer bulb on. The old primer bulb was split. It looked like some critters were eating it. Then we come to this one. It's a lather, rinse, repeat thing. But all you're going to do on this one, instead of using the 2 lines, you're just going to poke that into that end, and then when you pull that line, get that line fished through and pull it up, it will wedge into the hole and you'll be all set. So that's all there is to it, folks. Hope that's helped. Put that wire in the new hole, or in the last hole. Get your bends on your wire so that when you feed it through, it's going to give you access to get a hold of that line and bring it right out thusly. Okay. Then we're going to take our line. Don't forget to cut the end of your line there. Get a nice steep cut on that. Slide it over your wire. And you have virtually no waste of the wire with the line, with the exception of that little bit that you cut an angle at. And you can just use the other end of the line and keep that angle on there instead of cutting it off like I did. Whoops, I didn't. I could have used the other end. I should have looked at it a little closer. Okay. You pull it up till the line shows up right there. Get a hold of it. Come on, fingers cooperate. Get a hold of it. Give it a yank. Pull your wire out. And now this one, we will cut the end off square. We will push that little lock on there, and we will just pull this line until you see that little piece trying to come up through that hole right there, and it'll lock on you. It is not going anywhere. You get it up to that point. Again, leave just a little bit of slack on your line. Take it down, cut it, slide her on there, and you're done. Just that quick and easy. That was only another 2 minutes added to the video. Okay, let's see how the repair went. See if this sucker will start. Make sure I don't hit anything. Do a little adjusting to the carburetor, and it has fixed adjusting screws that'll only let you adjust it so far. And I also noticed that there's a hesitation in the crooked. Also notice there's a hesitation due to the shaft that goes into the weed eater. I'm going to pull that and lubricate it and put it back in, and that should help that hesitation. So we'll do that on a different. On these curved shaft weed eaters, they have a shaft in there that is bendable, flexible, and if you don't keep those greased and lubricated, they'll start to hang up, and that's what the case was on this little Bandit. And I just did a fuel line and fuel bulb replacement on it. So now we're going to remove the power head, as well as this throttle assembly is going to have to slide with it because of the short throttle cable there. But we're going to loosen things up and get that to where we can pull that head off. I'm not sure what size we've got here. Let's see. A little bit bigger. I think we'll just use a screwdriver. We're going to go old school. Let's loosen these up so that the handle will slide. Just start sliding. That's what you want, so that you can slide it in and out. And then we have a clamp here. Loosen that clamp. There you go. Come on. Yeah, it's going. Loosen her up. Get her loosened up so that the motor power head will slide off of there. We've got a hella storm coming. And then just start twisting and backing it off. As you can see, it backs off pretty easy. Set that down out of the way. So that I avoid getting a ton of grease on my hands, we're going to throw a pair of gloves on. jobs before that, here's that shaft. See how it's just a bendy shaft? It's square on the end to go into the motor and into the drive head. Well, you want to take that out. First inspect it for any kind of damage. Make sure you don't have any damage. And on this one, we are in good shape. And I'm just going to douse it real heavily with lithium grease and slide her right back in there. So that's as simple as finding your lithium grease. There it is. And once you find it, give her a good shake and then give that line a good spray and we'll shove her back in there. There's a plastic lining inside that tube, and without making sure that this is nice and lubricated, it's eventually going to hang up, and then this braided twist here is just going to let go and it's going to break this. So keep it lubricated. Lubricate full. Okay, so now you guys can see it's nice and white with the lithium grease. Just shove her back in the hole. That's what she said. Slide it in, and it'll stop on you. You need to turn it and get it to line up with the head, and then it'll drop down on you. Then, quite simply, slide the power head back on. It's got a finger groove, so when it finds that finger groove, you also have to manipulate the rod. So I'm going to reach over here with my foot and turn the head until it drops into place. There we go. Right into there. We'll tighten everything back up, and that'll take care of that. So if you have a curved shaft weed eater, it's just that easy to loosen things up. You're not really taking anything apart other than removing the power head from the shaft. Pull that drive rod out, lubricate it up really well, shove her back in there. Good preventative maintenance. It'll help that thing last longer, because you're looking at a 20-plus-year-old weed eater here that still runs just fine and just needed a little bit of TLC with the fuel lines. And there we go. And everything's still working okay. That's it. That was an easy one, wasn't it? Do you agree? Do you think that was an easy one? I'm thinking that was an easy one. Okay, gang. Thanks a lot. If you would, please. You know what to do. I want to try to get up to 150 on this one in a few days. So guys, please smash that like button for me. Thanks. We'll see you on the next one.